Right, okay, so after about 5 to 10 minutes of faffing around, I finally managed to go live streaming on Facebook as well. So if there are questions on Facebook, I might get to see them, or I might not. So basically, you have to join me live on Zoom if you want to ask questions, or email them to me beforehand, which I have had a number because lots of people like to stay anonymous. So it is Wednesday. It's time for some wellness. Diana's looking at her screen. Okay, now, before I start answering some questions, Diana, did you have any particular questions?
Not really. I'll see how many other questions you have, and then I'm
okay. All right. So basically, we have a number of kind of repeat questions. Basically, the biggest question I've had, and it's a number of times actually, is about vitamin D3. And the basic questions are like, I'm taking vitamin D3. Is it enough? Should I take more? How much should I take? And really, the only way to know if you're taking enough D3, I will tell you in a moment. Okay, but my general recommendation through winter is, unless you're getting outside in the sun every day and exposing not just your face, but at least your forearms to the sun for at least 20 minutes in the middle of the day when the sun is strongest, or whenever you can get out there. If you're not exposing yourself to good strong sunshine for at least 20 minutes a day, then take 5,000 international units of vitamin D3 a day. And if you happen to then have some time where you're spending the whole day outside, then I usually don't bother taking vitamin D3 for a few days afterwards. I also tend to take it combined with vitamin K2, because if you don't have enough vitamin K2 and you've got high vitamin D3 levels, you can end up building up calcium in your blood, in your arteries, as opposed to getting it into your bone. Because a lot of people do not eat enough cruciferous vegetables or other natural sources of vitamin K, or it's not in a multivitamin that they're taking. So if vitamin D is the only thing you're taking and you don't have a good diet, then probably take it with some vitamin K2 combined with it. And that's what I currently use. So how do you actually know if you're taking enough and if you need to take any or more? You need a test, basically. And there are some basic tests for sufficiency and deficiency. And you can get that test for about a tenner. Soon anyway. So it basically just tells you whether you have got a deficiency or an insufficiency, or whether you've got just about basically enough to be sort of not get rickets or some major problem. So basically the sufficiency deficiency test looks at about 30 nanomoles per litre, whereas optimally, okay, you want much more than 30. You want probably to get to 140. And the reason I say 140 is because there have been a number of studies that look at diseases and what are the blood levels of vitamin D3. And basically, a lot of diseases disappear if you have 140 nanomoles per litre in your blood. Most people have much less than that. Some people say you want at least 120, some people at least 100. Certainly over 200 is too much. And so, but in order to know the exact amount, you need a blood test. And you can actually get a lab test by the same people that do the NHS lab works. I actually learned that from Diana, who's watching live here at the moment. It costs £29. It's easy to find. I can put a link to that as well. So it's £29, and they can actually tell you the amount in your blood rather than just sufficient or deficient. Or you can go to your doctor and you can see if they will give you a vitamin D3 test. So I suggest that if you are coloured, then you should be able to get one. I hope you can get one for free, because you say, look, I'm worried. If you have got osteoporosis, you should hopefully be able to get one for free as well. So that's the answer. So I know a few people asked that question. Annie and Sarah Louise, I think, were the two that come to mind. Asked how many you had. Did you have a question there, Diana?
Yeah, I was under the impression that from October to March, at our latitude, it's actually not possible to get vitamin D.
What, from the sun?
From the sun, yeah.
Yep, could indeed. It's highly likely. It is highly likely, and basically, I don't think anyone really is getting outside having enough strong sunshine, regardless. Anyway, so basically, just get tested, whether it's through your doctor or whether it's spending £29. Basically, I think it's money well spent. I'm about to get mine tested. So thank you, Diana. Thank you, Diana. Now the next question, where is it? The next question I had, vitamin D3, flu jab. All right, I have my own theories about some of the rising death rates in hospitals related to coronavirus. And I may as well start with this, basically. A number of years ago, there were some, I think one of them was even last year, there were some studies looking at the possible increased amount of upper respiratory tract infections, of which coronaviruses are one cause, following a flu jab. Okay, because the thing about the immune system, okay, is we probably only understand about 1% of how it works. So injecting people like with more and more things that are supposed to help the immune system, when we don't actually fully understand, is, I think, an erroneous concept until we know more. But here's the thing, they were doing some testing and 2 studies found that following a flu jab, and one of these was in children, okay, there was an increased upper respiratory tract infections, including coronaviruses. So 2 studies showed increased risk. Then there were 2 other studies that said there was no increased risk. So I'd say that there's a 50-50% chance that if you have a flu jab, you could increase your risk of getting coronavirus. There's certainly no evidence to suggest that it decreases coronaviruses. So that's all I can say on will the flu jab help? Probably no. Will it hinder? There's a possibility that it may hinder. But what we do know is that the flu jab can cause fevers in people, and it can cause problems with the immune system in some people. And I've already had patients stuck at home after having a flu jab, basically. And I know that one of my mentors, Dr. Jack Wilson in America, who's a cardiologist, he has actually seen a patient have a heart attack after having a flu jab. So my big suggestion is get as healthy as you can through eating healthily, getting outside more, exercising, maybe get your vitamin D tested. I also recommend getting essential fatty acids tested, because that's probably of more use than any other blood test as well. These will be available very shortly, maybe later on today when they all arrive. So yeah, get tested and ask general health advice from your doctor and see what they come up with. Because basically the entire NHS strategy for fighting the flu, okay, and I posted this earlier on Facebook, the entire NHS strategy put together by 3 professors, including one of them, Chris Whitty, 41 points on it, 7 pages long. I think nearly every single point is basically just, vaccinate. Or how to vaccinate, or how to increase vaccinations, or how to vaccinate this. There was 1 point on social distancing, and the last 2 points are basically, thank you for reading these other 40-odd points. And that's their entire strategy, which is absolutely lovable. Yes, we know that the flu jab, it varies in its effectiveness from as little as 10% effective up to, I think, about 60%. It gets more effective in children. I think it's the highest it's managed to get about 80%. But there are lots and lots of other things that we could all be doing that are guaranteed to work the same every single year. So flu jab, yeah, my recommendation is officially you're chancing it. And what was my other question? There was one more question I had. Yes, do you still highly rate the fruits and green stuff from Nutridyne? Which, if none of you know This stuff, fruits and greens. It's basically made up of about 30 or 40 different fruits and vegetables and enzymes, and it's got some good bacteria in here as well. And it's got some fiber as well, very small amount of fiber. And do I rate this? Yes. But I rate pretty much all organic, good quality superfood powders, because it's a good way of getting lots of the phytonutrients and all kinds of other things that we don't know what they do and how good they are for us yet. And so I recommend people do take superfood powders in supplemental form on top of a good diet. But the reason I really like these, and I've actually done a number of videos, at least 15 videos on at least 15 different superfoods. The reason I like fruits and greens is because it's the mixture, and variety is one of the keys to staying healthy. And there are a few different blends that have a variety of fruits and vegetables in them. But the reason I rate this is quite simply because I think they taste nice, and there's lots of different flavors. There's chocolate, there's Nespresso, there's berry, there's blackberry, tangerine, green tea and mango, no, green tea and watermelon, which sounds odd, but is surprisingly nice. So yes, I rate it because it tastes, any vegetable smoothie tastes nice. It also tastes good just by itself. You can also add it to yogurts, whether they're dairy yogurts or coconut yogurts or whatever. So yeah, I use it to taste it. I rate it basically, and that's why I sell it. And the other reason is it's the superfood powder that one of my mentors, Dr. Bob Rakowski, has used from the sickest people on the planet, people who've been sent home to die with terminal cancer, with kidney disease. And it's one of the things that he gets them having lots of, and it seems to be incredibly safe. He's used it for many, many years. And he also uses it with his high-level Olympic gold medal athletes and some of the most highly paid American football stars and American basketball players. So basically, it's pretty much safe for everyone from the moment they can eat food up until before they die. So that's why I use it, because it's just been used by my mentor for so many years. You can get other stuff elsewhere, but the other reason I sell it is because the only other place you can get this is online from the guy I get it from. So that, I hope, answers all the questions I was sent before. Are there any more questions from Diana? Well, Diana is here.
I can probably look this up, but I can't remember what it was. What is the ideal waist to hip ratio for men and then for women?
I would have to look that up. I know it's been in lots of my programs, but it's one thing I can never remember off the top of my head. So I would just have to pop to Google myself to go and look it up. So, I'm afraid. Or look in the 7 weeks to anti-aging program. I think it's in the first week, or the Magnificent 7 program first week.
Programs, and then I went to look for it again.
All right.
I remember there was a chart, and then I couldn't find it again.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's have a very quick look. This will be boring for everyone watching live now. Rules for Health, Magnificent 7 programs, Pickard. And let's see if I can find it easily or not, because I can't find it easily. Then, see, I'm sure it would have been in the first one. No, it's not going to be in this one, is it?
Sorry, I thought you'd know it off the top of your head.
No, it's not. It's not one of the things I have to tell. No, I've got it written down somewhere. Okay, Google will have the answer. All right. So sorry I couldn't answer that question directly.
That's all right. I don't know. It's more of a sort of structural. So sleep apnea, typically in people that are overweight.
Yeah.
In someone who isn't overweight, so can't really lose weight to try and fix it. Is there anything else you can do? I mean, do these chin straps that you can buy on Amazon work, or do you know anything about that? Trying to keep the jaw from falling back?
I don't know.
Okay.
The answer to that one. Yes, it does happen in people who are of normal weight, normal uvulas as well, and palates. So I would suggest doing some jaw exercises. This is without having to looking at it. I'd suggest doing some jaw exercises to strengthen the muscles around the jaw. I know that certain food digestive enzymes help people with snoring. So maybe extra plant enzymes that are often used for digestion could actually help with sleep apnea as well. So yeah, those are the two things I'd suggest at the top of my head, and maybe getting your neck and back checked by a chiropractor or osteopath. Okay, all right. Well, thank you very much for watching whenever and wherever you are, mainly on Facebook. And thank you for joining me live, Diana. And I will now stop recording. And remember, please, before I do stop recording, if you are watching this to the end, please send me your questions so I have questions to answer for next time. But I always have plenty of topics I can speak about. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.